let's see. This week has sucked. I have nothing good to say about anything. The only thing keeping me going right now, through my tiredness, my haze, the lack of good news on all fronts, is that my boy Destiny has made some of the worst decisions in the history of decisions, and I am like chronically addicted to watching his thread now because I find it very fascinating. And in true fashion, he's making none of the steps that I predicted he would, because my assumption was that he would make good decisions at the advice of people he's hired. However, as I will get into towards the end of the stream, that is not the case, and I can't wait to talk about it. Now I need like a jingle, like dun 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 dun, dun like the news intro, or the globe is spinning around and like there's a banner twirling around it. Finally, I can talk about my one true love of the last week, Destiny Steven Bonnell, who has made bad PP decisions and is in a world of hurt. So here's what Steven's been up to. On the last episode, not Dragon Ball Z. Wow, that legit saying on the last episode, that legit just hard-coded Dragon Ball Z as my next words, regardless of what I was thinking in the front of my brain as I was trying to speak. Tiny was sued. Steven was sued. And why, Steven? Why? Why'd you revenge porn us, Steven? Steven was sued by Pixie, and he was responding to the lawsuit in public, making several statements that seemed like a bad idea. Then, on a separate instance, Steven continued to speak about his lawsuit and made different statements. And as I discussed, I believe last stream, I explained what impeachment is, and when you make conflicting statements that are then entered into court documents as evidence, if they contradict each other, it's called an impeachment, and that harms your character and testimony. And in Destiny's case, that's very bad for him. He wants to look very honest, and he wants this to look like he thought for sure he had consent and that she was a part of this lifestyle and that she knew, and so on and so forth, and he's really just completely blindsided by this. But when he's making multiple statements that contradict each other already at this point, at the beginning of the lawsuit, knowing that he's being sued, then that all gets entered in evidence, and he says, like, well, you made this statement, and then you made this statement, and then if he's going with a third narrative during his trial, those all impeach each other and make him look extremely unreliable. So it's like if the defense can, or the plaintiff can make him look like he's a liar and he lies all the time and he's lied about this multiple times, why should anyone believe him now when he says like he didn't do anything wrong? That is why you are told to shut up when you're being sued, because it's impossible for you to know 3 years in the future what statements and what points of contention are going to be the most important in your own lawsuit. So the easiest thing to do to help yourself is to say nothing at all, because you just can't predict what things are going to come and bite you in the ass. And that's why when this started, I said that he's in for a world of hurt, because he's a podcaster that has to speak about podcast stuff in his life, and he's being prohibited from discussing for several years at least an ongoing issue that is extremely relevant to his profile as a personality. So he's in a really, really bad position. He's already making it worse. He's put out several statements that he says are approved by an attorney, and there's a weird caveat with that. So Steven has 28 days to reply to the complaint. And usually the first steps of when you are answering a complaint is not to file the actual answer, which is how the lawsuit gets started. You actually file a bunch of bullshit motions first to try and get it dismissed as quickly as possible. And you run the gambit. You say this should be dismissed for jurisdiction, this should be dismissed for venue, this should be dismissed because of this absolute defense, it should be dismissed for this absolute defense. Like, you want to go and you want to throw everything you possibly can at this case to try and get it dismissed as quickly as possible. And then if that doesn't work, then you have to answer it. But of course, to do any of that, you need to get an attorney, and you got to get one pretty fast once the clock starts ticking, because not having an attorney is not an excuse for not answering your lawsuit. You just lose by default. You get what's called a default judgment, and a default judgment in a lawsuit is basically what the plaintiff asked for, as if it was completely true. So that's not good in his case. So he's putting out these statements that are PR statements to do damage control in his community, saying that they're approved by an attorney. But as Sean Martin pointed out, and he's a potentially criminal on YouTube, for whatever reason, potentially criminal has become like the leading law tuber for the Destiny case, and Destiny has responded to him directly multiple times already. Sean pointed out that there has been no entry of any attorney representing Shaven at this point. And you would think if he has an attorney on standby that's helping him manage his PR statements already, then they would be able to enter a case. He is still, at this point in time, not represented by anybody. Meanwhile, on Pixie's side of the case, not only has she filed her lawsuit, she's gotten a second lawyer. There's now a second lawyer who is appearing pro hoc vice in the Southern District of Florida to assist with the case. So it is currently, she has an actual legal team with multiple attorneys helping her sue the f*** out of Destiny, possibly pro bono, possibly on contingency because of the fee shifting provisions in the statute that are extremely strongly pro-plaintiff. And meanwhile, Destiny, Steven, why haven't you got an attorney, Steven? Don't you have an attorney, Steven? Apparently not. In fact, now that somebody says this in chat, if she has two high-profile attorneys, that's even more legal fees that Destiny has to pay if he loses at all. If the judge awards her $0, like $1.50 in compensation for her nudes being leaked out, they statutorily, Destiny will have to pay attorney's fees, reasonable costs, so she can get 5 attorneys. If she can find 5 attorneys willing to represent her on contingency so that they can file on the fee shifting provision, she can go do that, and then Destiny has to pay all their attorney's fees. So she can just stack this up like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck with all the cards that she wants. And Destiny is in a truly underdog position, which is why I said in December that he better settle. He better give her whatever the she wants to off immediately, because he's losing on PR, he's losing in his career, and he's going to lose the lawsuit, I believe, because he's in an extremely unfavorable position, and he's not a very sympathetic person to begin with. And he's already impeached himself. So the more dipshit things he says, and he will say dipshit things on stream forever, the worse it gets for him, which is why I've just been completely fascinated by this. And he keeps blaming the forum, and he keeps saying it's the forum's fault. It's the forum's fault. And I'm just thinking, how does this help you? Even if you try to sue me, I'm going to get Cherry crowdfunded. I'm going to get Melina crowdfunded. They said there's 5 women in total. We're going to make this class action. I'll go out of my way. I will personally drive out to the biggest pro-woman law firms in this country. I'll drive out to New York City and shake hands with people to find them an attorney willing to represent them pro bono if I can't get them money to strap up. I am not going to sit here and eat shit when I don't have to. The days of that are gone. I now have the capacity to drive up the Eastern Shoreboard to New York City and find the biggest lesbian Jew that has ever lived willing to represent all of these women for free, knowing that Destiny can pay her when she wins. That's my gambit. I'm not around. I didn't do shit, and you're not bringing this shit on my table. It's not my fault. You made the bad decisions. You live with the bad decisions, Destiny. Steven, if you kept it in your pants, Steven, you wouldn't have any issues, Steven. Why, Steven? Why? So let's actually look at the content I had slided up. Here is, I don't know who the f this is. I think this is JSTLK, if I remember correctly, who apparently is like a Destiny A-log that he's really salty about, because he's like a bread tuber. I don't want to say he's a bread tuber, but he's some guy, and he's been streaming a lot about Destiny, and Destiny's really upset about it. So I forget what this is. Let's take a listen.
He will do anything. He will take any step, go to any measure to try and save his own skin, to try and fuck with other people, to try and torture women around him. Great example of
Kuiman. Sorry. I don't know who these Destiny adjacent people are yet. Listen, I know people get really frustrated when I delve into like a new topic and I get half the shit wrong. Trust me, when I get interested in something and I start learning the ins and outs, eventually I get there. So we learn together, chat.
Him claiming last night in chat, I can't be fucked. Where's this message? So he was completely crashing out last night. There is no criminal investigation. Cherry filed nothing. She is lying and insane. So I've seen evidence. I checked with Cherry. This was okay before stream. I've seen evidence that Cherry has filed a police report. Cherry is in contact with police. I know that to be the case. I've seen evidence of that.
Okay, I remember. So Cherry is one of the women that have leaked as a result of Destiny's malicious negligence, if I dare use those words, and with wanton disregard for her consent, if I dare say so, if I may assume so, has filed a police report alleging such things. Destiny appears to be in denial that this is the case. I fully believe that she has. She's a bit of a weirdo on Twitter. She's not very sympathetic from what I've seen. Pixie and Melina are much more sympathetic. But Cherry has gotten a ball rolling criminally, which is different than a civil suit, because that could potentially result in registered defender Steven Bonnell at some point in the future, depending on how things go. But as we saw with the Ethan Ralph case, he just pled no contest, and I think I want to say he got a suspended sentence, so nothing happened, basically. But it is what it is. Just another thing that you have to lawyer up for and have to deal with in a different jurisdiction too. So if she's filing in, say, Texas, I don't know where she's at, and he's in Florida, well, his attorney in Florida can't easily represent him in a criminal matter in Texas, so he'll probably have to get an attorney in Texas as well. Things get worse because, as it turns out, Steven ends up in the Daily Mail. YouTuber Destiny, 36, ouch, hitting the wall there, buddy, is accused of revenge by 4 women, but claims he's the victim of the leak. I love it. It's just a proper tabloid headline. Proper tabloid headline. I love it. I love the slop on the Daily Mail. Progressive YouTuber and live streamer Destiny, who has 630 million views on his videos, has been accused of revenge by 4 women, dailymail.com can reveal. Stephen can reveal. That's such a fancy way of saying that we saying that. Steven Bonnell II, 36, who's better known by his online username Destiny. That's a weird name. It's like a girl's name. You know what? Someone made a joke that he could get out of the trouble if he checked out. Hey, buddy, I got a name picked out for you. Finally, there would be an explanation to the name Destiny that we could all agree on. Destiny is a prominent gamer and Democratic activist with over 1 million followers who has led grassroots campaigns for Democrats in Georgia, Ohio, and Nebraska. I didn't even know that. Look at what a public figure this guy is. It's really, things that happen to him are such a matter of public discourse, chat. Wouldn't you agree? I think everybody in chat would agree that things that happen to Steven are public interest stories, chat. One approximately 25-year-old woman who goes by Pixie Love online sued Bonnell last week for $2.15 million, claiming he leaked videos of himself having sex with her, and when she was about 21, that ended up being viewed on sites over 70,000 times, leaving her super. Another, whose online name is Cherry, says that she has filed a police report against Bonnell for sharing an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent. Pixie's lawsuit alleges that 2 other women, including his ex-wife Melina Goranson. Actually, if it's only audio, Cherry is probably doing the smartest thing possible in her circumstance, because I think that the law for revenge pornography explicitly says it has to be a video of a person who is recognizable. But in state laws, it might be different, where audio would qualify as revenge pornography of her. So she probably... That's tricky. That's a really tricky position to be in, because of something that I talked about last stream, but I'll talk about again in a second. Pixie's lawsuit alleges that 2 other... Actually, you know what? I feel like we need... Can we get a combo? Let's do a combo. I haven't done a combo ham in forever. Usually put the lady ham on the left. Unlock her. Yeah, there we go. We'll do a little combo ham for Destiny. He deserves it. Okay. As one of the first full-time gamer streamers, but now built up more than 1 million followers across social media platforms, gaining notoriety as a critic of Donald Trump and organizing political campaigns for top Democrats. His YouTube account has 842,000 subscribers and over 634 million views, and he has 289,000 followers on X under the handle The Omni Liberal, and over 100,000 on Kick. And there is Pixie. And Cherry is on the right. Cherry is Mexican. So you know what? I think Florida was a good, or Texas was a good guess. This is a terrible picture for her to use for the story, by the way. He is now mired in deep controversy and facing a potential legal firestorm. The lawsuit by Pixie, a Puerto Rican American, was filed in... She's Puerto Rican? Really? Miami federal court on February 18th on the pseudonym Jane Doe, but she has shared posts online about the complaint, identifying herself as the plaintiff. She claims Bunnell met her in 2018 when she was 19. They had relations with him 2 years later in 2020. Sent this tape to another 19-year-old named Rose, who we met online on the platform Discord. Terrible idea. This is her statement. I've already read this on stream. How does he do it, bros? How does he do it? Is it just his epic liberal takes? Is that all it takes? You just have to be a heckin' wholesome, female respecting liberal, or is it that or the millions of dollars? Chat, help me out. The clout. That's a good one. Let's see. Part that I want to get to. I didn't realize how long this is. This is a very comprehensive and detailed article on the Daily Mail. I can't even believe it. Oh, I was getting right to it. I skipped the paragraph, actually. On the 29th of last year, the video was uploaded to the website Kiwi Farms and shared on several sites, according to the lawsuit. So even in the lawsuit, where Destiny is trying to stifle this and say that the Kiwi Farms is the sole distributor, or is the sole cause, or whatever the even the lawsuit names 10 different sites that it spread to as a result of Destiny leaking it to Rose without her consent. My dignity, peace of mind, and hopes for the future were stripped away in a mere matter of seconds, following the betrayal of someone I had previously trusted. That's Cherry. Not involved in the lawsuit. 2 people have received recordings of her, and that is why she has filed a police report to press charges against him, which I support. Someone hurt you, go after them. 15 women had received explicit images of them. What the fuck? Or of any woman. There's God, he's just such a retard, man. Stasia and Melina have not responded at all, as far as I know. So I'm interested. If this goes well, they may get on board. She's Swedish, though, but she has jurisdiction. She can sue him in federal court if she wants to, even as a non-U.S. citizen, because he broke the law in the United States as an American. I don't know anything about Stasia's situation. Cool. Meanwhile, I pointed out last stream, I think, that there were brigaders from a pro-Destiny group I called the Taliban, which I'm almost certain is just the Destiny Taliban. That's where the name comes from. But the Destiny Taliban, now the Taliban, says temporal, no Destiny glazing, diminishing of Destiny's actions, sharing of Destiny's content unless it's something relevant. We can't control what you want, but the server doesn't support him. We don't want to promote him here. Despite this originally starting out as a Destiny.gg server, noted by the name change. For those wondering why, and this is the post that was spreading out hard last week when I was talking about this. For those wondering why, Destiny says in a leaked message, I think I'd want you under my desk instead, looking to the side emoji. I went out and sucked a guy off a few nights ago and recorded the audio, but it's really scuffed in my pocket. Did I ever send it to you? So this is him for sure admitting that he secretly, This is like the most, literally one of the most degenerate things I can ever imagine. Like, I can't even understand why a gay person would want to do this. He goes to Grindr. He finds guys on Grindr that he thinks are hot. He says, I want to see your c-. If he finds the c- agreeable with his palate, he says, I would like to suck your c-. Then he meets them in person. He puts a phone in his pocket, recording, and secretly records the sounds of him glucky on another man's cock. And then he goes online and sends the secret audio to people he knows as some sort of weird interaction with just random commoners that he has on his friends list. It's just like a baffling behavior. Like, literally, what the f- is wrong with you that makes you behave in such a way? Just vile. Just vile. And what's really crazy is that even now, as he talks about this, he has never said that he's like ashamed of what he does. He's always said that him going out and sucking random c- is like just what he does, and he's happy with it. He's happy with this lifestyle. And even though it's like destroying him now, he has no issues with it. He doesn't want to, he doesn't feel bad at all. He just feels bad as he got caught is the issue. I just don't get it, man. This is Destiny trying to do an LSAT, which is the test that you take to get into law school. It's a very weird test. Usually when you think of a test necessary to get into a college, you think of a knowledge test where they actually test what you know. And LSAT is very different. To get into a law school, you have to show incredible reasoning. So the LSAT is almost entirely of trick questions and trick answers. And you have to show your deductive reasoning to get a high grade without necessarily knowing any particular facts that you would have to show on other kinds of tests. So this is from months ago, by the way. This was before the trouble. So this is not him practicing to go pro bono in court. This was just him doing bullshit on stream to like fill time. So okay, let's just watch. This is the entry level. This is like the first question of the LSAT.
You said why not 0? You're safe for now. 1 sec. Okay. If both the first and second were 0, but no digits repeat. Wait, I just realized why we never ever do anything like this on stream. Holy shit. Christ, where were we? Holy shit.
No, the
timing this. There's
the numbers are related to the question.
I'm just curious what the questions were. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. All right, back to Minecraft. Good call.
Okay.
First and second place can also be 0.
So it was requested of me that I try to answer this question. Okay, so hold up. So let's do the LSAT just real quick. These two questions that we actually have access to. And I will use his Microsoft Paint to do this. Directions. Each group of questions in this section is based off a set of conditions. Answering some of the questions and may be useful to draw a rough diagram. Choose the response most accurately and completely answers each question and blacken the corresponding space. The company employee generates a series of 5... let's take out a highlighter or something here. Make this easy. So this is the important information. 5... Why is it so bright? I don't want that bright. I have to make this smaller. Yeah, the highlighter on this sucks ass. So 5-digit product codes in accordance with the following rules. 1. The codes use the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and no other digits. Each digit occurs exactly once in any code. The second digit has the value... Okay, so these are like more complicated. Second digit has the value exactly twice to the first digit. The first value of the third digit is less than the value of the fifth digit. If the last digit of an acceptable product code is 1, then must be true. And which of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? You know, so as a programmer brain, I'm very lazy. That's the most important attribute of any programmer, is that they're incredibly lazy. And they just want to do things in the dumbest, easiest way humanly possible. So there are 5 numbers, and it explicitly states that the permutations only occur once in any order. That means that there is 5 times 5, at most, 25 different combinations. But then there's tens that says if the second digit has a value exactly twice of the first digit, and the value of the third digit is less than the value of the fifth digit. So there are only 2 possible starts to this. The second digit must either be 2 or 4, and the first digit must either be 1 or 2, because there's no other number which has twice the value of the first number. So you can guarantee that you are going to get something like this in these permutations. Otherwise, that rule will be broken. It's literally the only way to start this. And the value of the third digit is less than the value of the fifth digit. Which means that 4 can never be the last digit, because otherwise it doesn't work. So if the last digit is an acceptable product code, if the last digit of an acceptable product code is 1, it must be true that the first digit is 2. That's right. That's right there. That is my answer for that. Is A for the first one. Because if it's not 1 up front, then it must be 2 up front. That's the only rule. And which of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? The digit 1 appears in some position before the digit 2. Digit 2 appears in some position before the digit 3. I mean, that's also solved just by this. Because of the digit 2, 3 cannot be one of the first 2 numbers. And 2 must be one of the first 2 numbers. Regardless. So the answers are A and C. Is that correct, chat? 0 times 2 is 0? What? The second digit has a value exactly twice the first digit. No, you can't multiply by 0. It has to be that. Okay. I am positing this as A is incorrect. I got it right. No, you guys are wrong, I think. Because if the first digit's 1 and you times that by 2, it's 2. It's not 0. You're not multiplying them together. You guys are wrong. Look it up. That's my answer. See. And if I'm wrong, you know what? I can do it on stream. You're deliberately misinterpreting what I'm saying. That's it. I'm not going to be trolled by my chat. I'm too smart for that. Okay, here's one other thing that made me laugh. Let's see. That is the paint screen again. Bam.
You know, we brought him in and tried to do we all know apparently the consent issue is a consent issue for Destiny. He has consent accidents apparently. If everything Pixie says is right.
I love that. I didn't hear that the first time I watched this. Guys, Destiny just had a consent accident. That's what it was. It was a consent accident. He made a consent oopsie.
Right. Like, it looks like there's an issue with him not understanding you can't do this. But he does. He uses his power.
I love that. That's like a new one. We're going to use that. A consent accident. Guys, we have consent accident review.
So that made me laugh. The word consent accident, popularized by Liz Fong Jones to describe a situation in which a woman accused him of her, has now entered popular vernacular. And Now we can always apply Liz Fong Jones's words of wisdom, and sometimes you just have little oopsie whoopsie consent accidents, and you accidentally are accused of or non-consensual pornography or things like that. Liz Fong Jones is so wise in his wisdom on how to dodge accountability for our actions. Such is life.